So this is the unboxing of the Apple Vision Pro. Here's the front of the box. Actually, maybe it's vertical. There we go. Okay, just let him. Here's the goggles in the front, and we've got the labeling, and also it's like a big rectangle. There's the first thing you can see is that there's a decent amount of weight to the product. So I'm gonna open it. Whoa, okay, that's really cool. So the way that they, I guess, frame the product in the box, there's kind of like a holding, something to hold the device in, and it kind of makes it appear like it's floating when you open the box. So obviously that's definitely a design decision. Otherwise they could have encased it in something, but they chose to make it appear as though it's floating once you take it out of the box. So that's really actually a really cool look to the product the first time you open it. So it definitely creates a wow factor. And you can see that there's like very high-end fabrics that are used to probably make it very comfortable when it's around your head. There's also some protection here in the front. And I think that probably from a design perspective, the fact that they made it just a set of goggles, and I'm gonna see, yeah, so that it comes out completely loose. So it's not firmly attached or anything. So it's got to take these things off. Okay, so there's like an inner, watch out. All right, we got that off, and that's it. So that there, and there's just going to be a sleeve in the front. So now that it's unboxed, the remaining boxes here, and one thing I want to point out is how simple this all is and goes with the whole minimalism. So obviously a lot of intention went into just the design of the box, obviously. There was just one piece here that protected the device and sealed it on the inside to keep it firm. And we had this other component here that the goggle rested on top of that created that illusion of kind of a floating effect for the device rather than encapsulating it. And then we had a goggle protection on the front of the device to protect the lens, protect the outside of the device. So I'm going to set this aside. I do want to mention that it's a lot lighter than I thought it was going to be, especially the box is a little bit heavy. I'm already seeing tons of camera lenses on the front, top. Actually, this is the bottom, so I'm holding it upside down. So on the front and bottom of the device, that's obviously to register your hand movement on the bottom so it can see what your hands are doing. Here we're just going to unbox the battery bank, and okay, it looks like there's, I'm not aware of all the features and contents of the box, but okay, so there's some additional cushioning here for when you're wearing the device that makes it more comfortable to wear, I guess, on your face. So I'll take that out. So this is an insert, probably to make it easier for you to wear the device. And lastly, again, okay, so there's some, okay, this is just looks like a solid foam piece. Let's see what we got in here. So just gonna show that on the camera real quick. Got that. All right, so it's a quick user guide. So we've got one more component in here, and this is going to be the charging area and the battery bank. So get a go ahead and open that. All right, so this is a sport loop dual band, and we've got our battery bank, and this clip attaches to the side of the device to lock in to charge it. And again, one feature that I've learned about the device previously is that this comes separate, and that's why you see kind of a long cord here to allow this to be separate from the headset itself to reduce some of the weight as a wearable. So lastly, this is going to be the block, charging block that goes directly into a wall outlet and then connects with that battery bank. We've got the device itself, the lens cover, an extra piece for comfort and insert, and a sport loop. I'm not sure how this exactly connects to the device just yet. And battery bank, user guide, that's also was part of the box architecture, and microfiber cloth, battery block, and charging loop. So that's it. Overall impression. So when I first put on the device, one of my kind of concerns or criticisms was there's a little bit of granularness to the image where, and I'm sure this is pertaining to the amount of lighting you have available, just like with a standard camera. But one of the things I noticed is you can definitely see kind of the dots on the screen. It's almost like with my iPhone 15 Pro Max, if you're using the telescoping lens and zooming in all the way, and you can kind of see you see some image disquality. So I think that's probably with updates too over time, and with better lighting for myself, that's something that would get more cleared up. And then of course in future iterations of the device, we can expect that the price point will come down and the image quality is going to go up in general. With the virtual image displayed on the screen, I think the image quality was definitely relatively much higher. The resolution, I'm not sure what the exact resolution is, especially on those display screens, but it was definitely feeling crisp, and the movement, kind of the refresh rate of moving icons on the screen or interacting with the screen, everything felt very crisp. One thing, not to jump too far ahead, but one thing I did notice was even during the setup process of using the device, when I did take the device off, it led to, even despite what I just pointed out, it led to the level of immersion that once I took it off, I felt like, where's the screen that was, where was the screen that was just in front of me? Where's that display screen? So that, like, it was an almost instant feedback in my own mind, was like, where's that augmented screen I was just looking at? Obviously within a second, I obviously acknowledged that, once the goggles are off, that's not going to be there. But it was kind of like an instant response that I had mentally. I didn't ever feel nauseous or sick, so it's probably because I didn't actually play any kinds of game apps yet. I'm not sure what kind of games are available on the device yet. It's probably a limited amount of development that's gone in for apps tailored to that experience, because it's very early on for retail availability of the device. I have tried out the Meta device previously, and I did feel some nauseousness with some of the apps that I tried, some of the games. I feel like it was kind of a little bit herky-jerky, the movement. I haven't tried the most recent model, that was the Meta Quest 2, and just to cut to the chase on that model too, I think that's a really good device also. And I see it as, especially for the price point, it's definitely it's a good competitor to Apple's product. So I think for their price point, that's definitely a great device, and it was definitely fun to use it and definitely fun to try out some of the game apps and play around with it. With this particular device, some of the things I've tried out is I created my own model, the model that lets you do video calls and lets you kind of reflect your features with a virtual display of yourself as an avatar. And as I've seen in other review videos, the results were a little bit iffy in terms of the quality of the model. Of course, that's going to be something that gets improved over time, so I'm not going to stay on that for too long. Everything that gets synced through your Apple ecosystem becomes available, so you can connect what you've got saved on your Apple devices over to your new Apple virtual headset. And once I pulled that up, it was a cool experience. I'm reading it again, pretty clear in terms of reading the text on the screen. It felt pretty easy to read. It was kind of cool seeing the pages flip as well in terms of the immersion. And of course, being able to move the displays and create multiple displays. So that I think that's going to be a great feature from maybe like a work standpoint. If you're typing notes on one screen, if you've got the reading available on another screen, again, very clear image. You can contract or expand the size of the image. That's a great feature. One thing I think that kind of blew me away with the experience a little bit was the Avatar Way of the Water movie. I'm not a huge movie buff, so I've actually not given the movie a full watch, but I did pull it up and I was watching through somewhere I had left off in the movie previously, and when I was watching through the goggles, it was truly made it more of a novel experience and made you see details on screen. It's still a 2D screen, but you could expand it to make it practically like a movie theater film viewing experience, but it makes you definitely feel more immersed. You see little details you never see before, and you appreciate the film more because of the level of detail in the content that's in front of you, that if you're just looking at it on a typical flat display, you're not going to appreciate it as much. So it was definitely a really cool experience. Cool thing, I think during their earnings call that Apple mentioned, is they're going to be also expanding more to commercial use applications for using this device. It's been a retail predominant company for a lot of its existence, and companies like Microsoft or IBM were more tailored towards the commercial experience. Of course, they retail all their software, Microsoft Office products, but they're also very commercial focused in terms of their business strategy. But I think Apple pivoting into the commercial space and incorporating a product like this is, I think, very important for them. You know, if you're thinking like a surgery virtual demonstration, or like an auto mechanic, or different kind of cool ways you can put someone in the shoes of a experience that they wouldn't maybe be able to experience otherwise. And from a technical perspective, and using it as a training video for work and professional experiences, I think it's going to open the door for so many excellent simulations, the more that they obviously also bring it to life-like quality. And I know the M2 chip is on there, so I'm sure that the graphical quality, once you've got those 3D immersive experiences with these types of training, could be very immersive and very incredible. What Apple intended to do was bring this product and really show the functional capabilities and mix of augmented reality and virtual reality. And really, I think comparison was made in one of the reviews I saw of comparing like this as the iPhone versus the BlackBerry moment for phone devices. And I definitely think that this is definitely a next step in technology, and that there's going to be many platforms and ways that developers can find to use it. And the price, sure, similar to the Air and the Pro laptop products, the price will be tailored to different customer bases, with kind of like a base model in the future probably, and a higher end Pro model for more technically leveraged use cases. So overall, really cool, and I'm gonna look forward to continue using it and give some more feedback.